All right, folks, and welcome back to the next episode in our venture of the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings. Last time, the Soaring Club was very, very close to being disbanded, and then Kotori saved the day. I'll just put it that way. She saved the day, she wanted to join, so I'm not sure what compelled her to join, but she joined, so that definitely saved the club. So that's definitely good news, and in the last image, Ageha was making an observation about something and we weren't quite sure what it was. So that's exactly where we're going to pick up right there. So, Kaneko?
前回のデータをロードしちゃうよ。
Yep, let's get started. What is it?
さっきグライダーで飛んで撮影したって言いました？言ったぞ。フライトログにそう書いてある。ってことは、
Ageha and I took another look at the photograph. If you wanted to take a photograph from above the clouds, at the very least, the camera would have to be in a position higher than the clouds. Did the glider actually fly this high?
そうなるな。物的証拠も目の前にある。
She's got a point. Ageha and I turned to look at the white aircraft. I don't know how many meters it was, and this wasn't just imagination, but when I picture actually flying this thing above the clouds, it looks kind of unreliable.
私がこの学校へ来る以前にソアリング部は廃部になり、設備だけがここに残されていた。この写真もここに残されていたものなんだが。
Amane takes the photograph in her hand and squints her eyes with nostalgia.
いつかはここへ行きたがってた。
We still haven't figured out who Itsuka is yet. Or Izuka. Yeah, we still haven't figured that out yet. Hopefully we know fairly soon.
私とイスカはこの場所を目指してグライダー制作を始めたんだ。
Izuka. There's that name again. Whenever Amane says that name, she becomes very nostalgic. Who is this Izuka person?
これ。
While we were talking, Kotori was listening quietly, but then held out a notebook to Amane. I thought I had seen it somewhere before. It was the notebook with the things I want to do list.
その写真はこれに挟まっていたの。
Did she take that or did she find it?
これはイスカの高校日誌じゃないか。どうして君がこれを持っているんだ？
Good question.
寮の私の部屋にあったの。
So they were a board member. How about that?
寮の部屋。もしかして君はトビウオ層に住んでいるのか？
Bingo! A little surprised to hear that name all of a sudden, Kotori nodded.
棚の隙間に隠してあったの。中は日記みたいだった。グライダーのこととあなたのことが書いてあったわ。私？そう。多分。だってあなたイスカの親友なんでしょ？
For some reason, Amane didn't answer and looked at the worn cover of the notebook.
それを読んで私グライダーに興味を持つようになったの。翼だけで風に乗って空を飛ぶ、まるで鳥のような飛行機。そんなので雲の上を目指すなんてすごいって思った。でももっとずっと昔のことだと思ってたから、日記の日付だとイスカたちはもうとっくに卒業してるはずだし、まだ続けてるなんて思ってもみなかった。
But if you were interested in gliders, why didn't you come to check out the Soaring Club? I asked in a lighthearted manner. Actually, she was so interested in them that just looking at a real glider makes her eyes sparkle with wonder. The owner of the diary might no longer be around, though.
まあそれは
Kotori held tightly to the hem of her skirt.
私なんて入れてもらえないって思ったから。幅根さん。
Listening to her words, I felt a dull pain coming from my right knee. Somewhere that she couldn't enter. That's what she believed, and that's why she didn't try to find out about the current status of the Soaring Club. It might have been similar to me, after I injured my knee and tried to avoid hearing any information about the Cycle Racing Club. The more I knew, the more envious I would become.
だからあの風車の丘で飛んでるグライダーを見たときは驚いた。すごく嬉しくて心臓がドキドキしたわ。
That was the time that Kotori and I first met. In that peaceful landscape, Kotori watched the white aircraft flying over with such enthusiasm.
そうだったのか。
When Amari heard Kotori's story, she took a deep breath.
見てもいいかい？
Amani put the book on the table, but didn't read it straight away, and instead went to boil some water in the electric kettle first. Then she prepared the tea set. When the pleasant aroma of the tea started to fill the air, Amani sat down and finally turned to the first page. I'll get a snapshot for you all. There you go. There you go. Nice little snapshot for you. Alright, here we go. Her cheeks went slightly pink, and her eyes seemed kind of nervous. Amani's eyes moved from left to right across the page. Slowly, carefully. It felt to me that she was digesting it one letter at a time. She took a sip of her boiling tea. She placed the cup back on the saucer and then turned the next page. She began to smile. Maybe something fun was written there. She giggled as if she had become lost in memories. The nervousness that was in her eyes when reading the first page had disappeared.
笑ってるね。
Yeah. It was a calm and happy smile. Or so we thought. Then, looking at the next page, she opened her eyes wide. There must be something surprising written on that page. From the look on her face, she seemed taken aback as she continued to read. After that, Amani's expression continued to change as she turned the pages. She smiled, seemed surprised, looked troubled, appeared to be sulking, and then smiled again.
ねえ、どんなことが書いてあったの？ソアリング部の活動記録よ。と言ってもそのほとんどがただの日記だけど、いつかが大親友とどんな風に毎日を過ごしたか、それが汚い字と読みにくい文章で書いてあった。天音先輩の大親友か。イスカさんってどんな人だったんだろう。かなり変な子よ、多分。いたずらして誰かを驚かせたり、寮の食堂でパイ投げやったり。
But when you read it, it had an effect on you, didn't it?
うん。楽しそうだったの、すごく。
We could tell by the look on Amani's face that Iska's flight log was full of funny stories. It was also proof that the time they spent together was equally fun. When she reached what was probably the last page of the diary, Amani had tears in her eyes. As Amani smiled nostalgically, A clear drop ran down from the corner of her squinted eye.
何か悲しいことが書いてあったのかな。
But she's smiling.
日誌は途中で終わってるわ。最後に書いてあったのはあれよ。やっておきたいこと。
The page that we were looking at, huh?
雲の回廊を渡りたい。
Amani mumbled in a quiet voice before bursting into tears. While still smiling, she must have been smiling because she was happy. Then the tears must have been because it was all in the past. Just looking at her made me feel a terrible pain inside, like my chest was closing up. After reading the last page, she closed the notebook and then went back to the first page. This is now the third time. Even so, she reads it with the same happiness, surprise, worry, and nostalgia as if she were reading it for the first time. We quietly watched her as she repeated this again and again. The tea that she has only taken one sip from would definitely have been cold by now, but it looked like she had totally forgotten about it.
そっとしておくしかなさそうね。
You're right. There are so many things I want to talk to her about, but it doesn't feel like now's a good time to speak. As we leave the garage, the sky is filled with the colors of sunset. With a deeper red than sunrise, the darkness of night approached from the eastern sky.
あの雲の写真、綺麗だったね。
Yeah.
あそこへ行くのか。
Agaha seemed to be saying, I'm itching to go. I felt the same way.
じゃあ私、一度ロボット部に顔出してくるね。掛け持ちだから毎日は顔出せないけど。
You don't seem that busy either. It should be okay, right? Even if she is also in another club, it's great that she's here. Sorry for all the trouble.
いいってことよ、相棒。
Agaha gives me a punch in the shoulder and turns around to Kotori, who had left a little later but was following us.
ハバネさん。昨日はごめんなさい。
Agaha bowed her head with great momentum.
別に謝ってもらうことなんてないと思うけど、私ハバネさんの事情何も知らなくて、なのに知ってるようなつもりであれこれ言って、本当ごめんなさい。
Kotori glanced at me. She must have realized that I had told Agaha about her wanting to quit school and so on.
わかればいいのよ。
Kotori turns her head sideways in an aloof manner as she speaks. I storm over towards Kotori and... I gave her a karate chop on the top of her head. Not exactly something I would do. From now on, every time you take that kind of attitude, I'm gonna give you a chop. Kotori reeled back. Then she looked at me with eyes like a demon or an ogre.
こいつのどこにそんな権限が。
Come on now, you've got something to say, haven't you?
ごめんなさい。私も言い過ぎたわ。あなたは八方美人なんかじゃない。ちょっとうざいくらい親切なだけよ。うざ。ヘバー！ちょっと痛いじゃないの。
If it didn't hurt, you wouldn't remember. She looked at me with anger in her eyes as she rubbed the top of her head. Did that sideways aloof face thing and pushed her wheelchair along.
あかんべー。すごいね、葵。ハバネさんみたいな美少女にチョップかますなんて。
Ageha is a little stunned as she speaks.
じゃあ、私行くね。早いとこ、ハバネさんを追っかけてやって。
Yeah, see ya.
またね。
Ageha, who looks like she's skipping as she walks, turns to head towards the school building. But she stopped halfway.
明日から面白くなりそう。
She called out in a big voice. I caught up with Kotori, who had a meek expression on her face as she quietly pushed her wheelchair along. You want me to push you?
いい。
I don't know how tiring it is to push a wheelchair along, but if I tried to travel the same distance I would normally walk by using my hands, I would definitely find it tiring. I went behind her and pushed the wheelchair.
いいって言ってるのに。
I told you that I'd help you, didn't I? I'm not gonna do it all the time, but when my hands are empty, you can rely on me.
だって、そうしてもらう理由がないもの。
Yes, there is.
どこに？
Because we're friends. I felt a little embarrassed as I said that. I think that if I hadn't been facing her back at the time, I wouldn't have been able to have said that.
いつそんな、友達になったって言うのよ。
Yesterday, when we were hanging out, weren't we? That means we're already friends, right? Generally speaking, it wouldn't be incorrect to say so. Kotori stays tight-lipped and doesn't answer. For a while, we don't say anything as we follow the route back.
聞かないの？どうして私が残る気になったのか。
I don't know if I want to ask or not. The main thing is the fact that you're staying.
あの退学届、もうしばらく預かっててくれない？
Sure. So she's not going to throw it away?
私にとってはここが最後の砦。あの先輩みたいにいつまで踏みとどまれるかわからないけど、もう少しここにいたいの。でも私って時々弱気になるから、こう見えて結構あるのよ、そういうとこ。
Seems like she's trying to say, I may be a tough girl, but you just look like a crybaby. If I had said that, she'd just get mad, so I kept quiet.
だからあなたに持っててほしいの。ダメかな。
She suddenly seemed to lose her resolve, and she turns around to glance at me. Why me? That question comes to mind, but I don't say anything. I think the fact that it was me makes me quite happy, to be honest. That's fine, but I have one condition.
何？
Kotori puts her guard up. She looks as though she thinks I have another crazy demand to make. You talk to me like I'm a stranger. I want you to use my name more.
Huh?
You always refer to me as you or him, but I want you to call me Aoi. We're friends now. That face. Whenever these characters make those faces, it's the funniest of things. Would that be a problem? Don't you think of me as your friend? I'm a little anxious as I ask her.
そんなことない。私 私、でも、あなたなんか、あなた、じゃなくて、
Quite the awkward scene that has now emerged.
葵くん。
See? It seems weird. Please understand. She seemed to say as she bent forward. Kotori, why do you find it so strange to say my name?
慣れ慣れしい。
Well, never mind. Come on, let's go, Miss Habane.
下の名前でいい。そっちのがいい。
Okay, let's go, Kotori. Kotori had a look on her face that indicated complex mix of emotions, awkward and shy at the same time. We'll definitely go there, above the clouds. There are wispy clouds in the sunset sky. From now on, whenever we look up at the sky, we'll be thinking about this. I'm gonna fly. My heart was beating frighteningly, quickly.
「雲の回廊を渡りたい」か。いつか、君はいつも言ってたな。真っ暗だ。いつの間に夜になったんだろう。紅茶が冷めてしまった。
That it has.
みんなは、もう帰ったのか。
Afraid so. They couldn't stay that long. It's just not how it works.
もうここでは続けられないかと思っていた。
Oh?
いつか、君がつなげてくれたんだな。あの子たちを、ここへ連れてきてくれた。
It's starting to sound like this individual is, deceased. I'm not sure if that was her or me. What's the rush? There's no need to rush. I had just finished the cash register at the convenience store, and then I went after Kotori, who had left first and had a convenience store bag on her lap. And I hold on to the grip of the wheelchair. Let's go, Kotori. Hold on tight.
よーし、飛ばせー！
Following Kotori's command, I pushed the wheelchair forward at breakneck speed. I'm okay. I'm completely fine. I push out my chest to try to show that I'm okay, but I can't hide the fact that I'm out of breath. My stamina's gotten worse. I've been pushing the wheelchair while running up until now, but I was reminded of how much my stamina had decreased. She couldn't help but notice, so Kotori took a sports drink out of the convenience store bag.
Hi, Aoi-kun.
Aoi-kun. All right, we're making some headway. Thanks.
そんな無茶して膝は大丈夫なの？
My knee? Yeah, no problem. I think. According to the doctor, I shouldn't have any difficulty with everyday life. The problem is whether or not this is above the normal level of everyday activity or not.
途中でもういいって言ってるのに結局学校まで走ってきちゃうんだから。
Aoi, man, come on, man, slow it down. Since this morning, I had been in high spirits and the effect hadn't worn off yet for some reason. It's because our club activities were finally about to start. Today is Saturday, a day off, but we intentionally got up early and came to school. And folks, we're gonna leave a bookmark right there to find out what they're going to do at school. Well, I'd say this is definitely a good chapter, a good episode in that regard. Definitely some new developments. I can't believe Amane stayed there for that long reading the same thing over and over. Those must have been some very sentimental memories, some very precious memories like that. That's the only thing I can think of. But hey, everybody's got those kind of memories, so can't knock her for that. But it's nice to see that Aoi and Kotori are also starting to get along a little bit better, so that's pretty cool. I kind of got a kick out of when he was pushing her wheelchair really fast to give her some kind of entertainment, and the fact that she was enjoying that, so that was pretty cool. So we'll see how the story fares on the next time. So once again, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see today, maybe leave a like. And if you definitely want to see more content, I highly encourage that you subscribe. Got some new productions coming up soon, so please stay tuned for that. And until next time, happy mixing, everyone.